Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is Getting to Know You, an Owners Club exclusive podcast. Right now, reach down, hit subscribe, give us a like. Today, we have our guest, John McAllister. Hi, John.
Hey, yeah. Everybody knows me as Johnny Mac, but John McAllister.
Tell us about yourself. Who are you?
I live in Pennsylvania. I grew up in South Jersey. Now I'm over in PA, which is about 45 minutes from Philadelphia. But I grew up in South Jersey, so I always say water. I know what a jug handle is. I know where Jimmy Hoffa's buried, and I don't pump my own gas. Growing up in New Jersey, that's kind of the thing. We always say go down to the shore, etc. But I moved over to PA when I was about 33. I've been here for quite some time now. Love it over here. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And then who am I? I mean, I have an amazing wife. She supports me. I'm in the real estate journey. I have 5 kids. I'm trying to catch up with Jerry Norton, but I'm only halfway there. 2 stepchildren. They're 28. I'm 20. Roy just went to college. He's 20. And then I have 3 of my own, which is 10, 7, and 5. My 5-year-old just went to kindergarten. So bittersweet moment right now.
So no kids at home during the day?
No, and that's only a couple of weeks, so I can actually work from my home office now. Before it was a little crazy, but I'm still getting used to that because it's only a couple weeks.
Well, tell me, what has your real estate journey been to Owners Club? How'd you get into real estate? What brought you to Pace Morby's Community Owners Club?
So last year, 2024, I went full-time in February. Before that, I was working as a project manager for large site contractors here in Eastern PA. But prior to that, I'll go back to like 2018, 19. I was taking my accelerated bachelor's degree because I actually dropped out of high school. I always say I have a ghetto education diploma or a GED. After that, I went throughout my 20s. I got my associates in civil engineering, worked in the construction field as a laborer. Then I finally went back, and I actually have a dual major because in my early 20s, I was going to Bible college up in New York in Schroon Lakes. I took my associate's degree from a secular college. I took my Bible credits, and I went to Lancaster Bible College online. I got a dual major, one in business management and one in biblical studies. Now, why do I tell that story? Because during my business management studies, I read the Purple Bible. Most people that are listening will say, I know what the Purple Bible is, but that is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So I read that, and I got that real estate bug, I call it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So in 2019, I bought my first house hack because I was listening to Bigger Pockets. That term house hack was always thrown around. It was a 3-1, a 1-in-1, and then a garage. And my mortgage was $1,600, but after my rent offset that, it was $600 out of my pocket. Still, as Robert Kiyosaki would say, a liability, but it was getting closer to an asset. And then today, I still own that property, and now it is an asset. I cash flow $1,000. But in 2019, I did that. And then 2 years later, I bought an Add Value, which my wife and we rehab nights and weekends. We bought it for like $200, put like 50 grand into it, rehabbed it ourselves pretty much. And then we moved into that, and that's the house we live in now. I got an FHA for the first house, and then I got a USDA loan for the second. If your listeners don't know what they are, FHA is great for a first-time homeowner. You can do duplexes. You can do a house hack. It's a 3.5% down. And then a USD, some type of urban, rural areas, and most suburb areas qualify for it. And that was actually 0%. So now I have 2 properties. And when I finished that rehab was the end of 22. And then from there, I said, okay, what's next? Because I'm working my W-2. So I start looking into wholesaling. And I run across this Driving for Dollars challenge that was put out by Pace Morby, who I knew nothing about him, and it was like $20. I'm watching this Driving for Dollars. Pace Morby becomes in my visual, and I'm like, who is Pace Morby? So I start looking on YouTube, and at that time, I was looking at different mentorships and things like that for wholesaling. People wanting to charge 20, 30, 50 grand. I go on YouTube, and I watch 6 hours of this guy, Pace Morby, giving free content about wholesaling, real estate, and I'm like, what is this? So that was easy for me to say, here, take my credit card. Like, I want to know what's behind the door after you go from free to actually being a part of the community. That was the end of 2022. in December. From there, I worked nights and weekends doing wholesaling, focused on pre-foreclosures a lot. I did my first virtual wholesale deal in North Carolina, which was awesome. That was through the community. I'm student number, and this goes into Owners Club. I'm student number 7,300, and being in sub 2, I'm in there for a year and a half, and I'm looking at student number 400, 500, and I'm like, man, I wish I would have met Pace in 2020 when the community first started and been part of that initial wave when the Zooms were like 20 people and Pace, it was crazy. When they pitched out Owners Club year one, it was a no-brainer for me to join that because Pace always over-delivers and goes above and beyond. So that's kind of how I got into it, and I love it. Now I went full-time. I door knocked last year. I did a little shiny object syndromes and things like that. But currently I'm back to door knocking, focusing on pre-foreclosures. I'm also the project manager of Paceway Community Development with Duran Levy, which he's awesome because he's local to the area. And I share this with people a lot because when I left my W-2, I was like, oh, forget that past go pound sand W-2, and I just forgot about it and put it on the shelf. But now that I have all these skills, I'm like, man, I'm not going to waste that. I'm able to say, hey, Duran, you have this site development. I've done hundreds of these. Can I help you and add value? I started using those skills that I wanted to get away from because I didn't want to have a W-2. But now I'm using it on this side and more for myself and adding value to other Owners Club members. That was a little long-winded, but that's basically the gist of it.
That's really incredible. It sounds like you've had an amazing time.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a journey. Has it been easy, all bells and whistles and unicorns and rainbows? Absolutely not. It's a grind, 100%.
So you're still currently door knocking. That's your current business model. Tell me a little bit more about how you add value for Duran. What are your skill sets that are being applied to his development?
At my W-2, I worked for $500 million companies, $100 million companies. You see this all over the country, like the big warehouse boom during COVID. I was the project manager for those job sites for the site contractor, which is the horizontal, not the vertical or the build out, but just the horizontal work. So clearing, E&S, storm management, sewer, all you utilities, water. When you drive up to a warehouse, you see all of these structures, the curbstone paving. So I have those skills, and I did that for 10 years at my W-2. But then Duran's Paceway Community Development, it's 5 single-family homes, 4,500. They're very high-end. They're $1.5 million per house. It's not a small project, but coming from where I was, it's kind of a smaller project. It's single family homes versus a warehouse, 1 million square foot warehouse. So what's the value? Well, I worked for companies where my motto as a project manager was protect the schedule, protect the budget, and then I call protect against piss buckets. In other words, I don't want to hand off a bucket of problems to the owners of the companies that I worked for. So that's my skills that I bring to this project. So I'm able to now, work with Duran. He's able to focus on more high level stuff, and I can be the boots on the ground and make sure it's taken care of and things are getting done. So that's the skills.
Very, very valuable. That's an incredible value add.
Absolutely. And now he's looking at larger projects. I think there's one, it's 100 plus units. He can now focus on the next project, knowing that this project is being pushed forward. To me, that's high value. Because if it wasn't me, it'd be him. That's why I'm in my car, because I dropped off a couple checks for the escrow for the sanitary authorities. We can start putting in the sanitary Monday and keeping things moving forward. And he's back at the office I just left. He's working on the next project. Yeah. Plus, I get to work next to Duran.
So how could someone bring value to you?
Right now, my business partner, Colin Inners, he's an Owners Club. Because I focus on pre-foreclosures here in PA, and I focus on a couple counties around the Philadelphia County area. We actually have teams across the country that door knock. If you're in the community in sub 2, you're looking to do your first deal, you could reach out. We have data where we can have people come on our CRM and call and just kind of add value there, give some time, but then get the reps in and go get deals. Other than that, I'm super focused now because the past 8-9 months, I was not super focused. So as far as adding value, that's the only thing I can really think of. And then obviously money. We all need money. I got deals where I got to go through an asset-based lender. It's basically a hard money lender. Now that we're getting deals flow and stuff, I could always use money that's secured against the asset, and then also personal guarantees from my partners, that's obviously value.
So any new sub-2 students, if you're looking to put in some reps, learn from the talented Johnny Mac that's been in the community for 3 years, which is an incredible opportunity to jump in and learn from the greats. How do you like to be contacted?
Instagram, I think my name's in here. It's John F. McAllister. Instagram's fine. DM me. And if you're in Owners Club, just text me. Even sub 2. I share my contact information in sub 2. It's not a big deal.
Well, you guys heard it here. Thank you so much for being a part of this interview. I hope that sharing your story with others can help build more relationships and bring more collaboration together within the community. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you too.
You bet.